Good morning, everybody. This is Shamal here. Hope everybody is fine. In continuation to my earlier presentation on climate change research and studies, what exactly my area of interest, I am going to talk about some issues related the global warming and why this kind of research is required to understand the kind of level of pollution or level of different kind of gas composition and what are the effects of those gas composition on different living organism and their survival and how to mitigate that part. That is what the main objective of various simulation model on climate change research is covering the whole lot of things. As I was talking that last three, 400 years or 500 years till 16th century or 17th century, if you can analyze from that how the agrarian society, mostly in our previous 400, 500 years back, we used to have only the economies based on the agriculture. How from agriculture to industrial society, the industrialization, how this has been taken place across the globe, especially coming to Europe and from there itself to US and many Asian countries. So all are like no switching over from agriculture to industrialization. They feel that those are very kind of development that is required to build a modern society, and many people have migrated, millions of people migrated from village to the urban city life. There are cities developed, and wherever you have set up the industry, many places those kind of development has taken place. That is what the trends that is going on for last 400, 500 years. But because of this switching over from agriculture, it's a traditional practice of agriculture is something, it's a natural one, and those are the base of economy at initial days. From that industrialization, it's a switch, totally switching over from one to another, and it has got during the time of 100, 200 years. Because of the industrialization, you have lot of things that is happened, lot of fossil fuels that is been burned, lot of industrial activities that is led to the inequilibrium of the nature of different gas composition. Let's say your carbon dioxide, oxygen, whatever the standard ratio has been deviated. So finally, the terminology that is coming, the pollutants, the pollution level, we talk about those terminologies are coined. Very specifically, the pollution or pollutant or pollution control board internationally set up. It is 1964. It is none other than the US. So international organization for various pollution control boards or safety norms has been set up in that particular time. The main objective or main agenda is to check the different pollution level and give a kind of threshold limit of different pollutants, what is the maximum and minimum level to be set up, and different industrial factories, they have certain rules. You have the pollution control boards, it's again kind of an some kind of protocol, some kind of rule, or some kind of a bible, you can say, for the industry to run operation manual. Those are the thing discharge, how this thing to be control, and how the wastewater or gas, whatever chimneys from where coming, how those things to be controlled, what are the monitoring mechanism to be done, all those things. That is the main objective. And also lot of various other research lab that has been established in order to check what is happening across the globe, bringing sample, analyzing it, either it is a live sample like a microbiology or environmental sample, different gas composition analyzing in lab, and you have to check that to bring down the, it is not the question of bringing down the pollutant level, to know that, so that whether it is going beyond threshold limit or not. So it's a kind of an alarming system. So if it is going beyond, so probably we need to control our industrial activities, or maybe controlling the kind of pollutant we are discharging. Before discharging into environment, some treatments are required or not. Friends, because of the growing concern of different increase of different level of pollutants in 1964 officially, so some countries they have taken the step and forming kind of an union. That union, you call it International Union of Air Pollution Prevention and Environmental Protection Association, that has been established in 1964. So this is the first official kind of an association taking various other countries, and the main initiator is US. So they have taken the initiative that enough industrialization has been done, and now you have to control it. That is what, because once the control thing is coming, means you want to continue the similar kind of activities. They feel there is a need of industrialization, and they have acknowledged, I talked about the agriculture and industry, it has to run because of the, it's a need for human civilization or aspiration, many other things. Those things are very much required, and there are many technologies that has come, many development has been taken place, and those things are, because industrialization in very much in 19th century or 20th century is taken a kind of a rigorous steps, right? So basically in 20th century, I was talking about, there are many countries they have taken all those things because they felt the industrialization is the part of the modern civilization, and it was very much required. But you do any kind of industrial activities, it has got the impact, because it is not a natural thing that is coming out, not like agriculture. We do traditional agriculture, that is one thing. Even in agriculture also, in modern day, what is happening, we are using a lot of research, lot of biotechnological work, and you are developing new varieties, and because of the more productivity, then you are using a lot of technology, lot of pesticides. All those things finally is coming to environment, coming to soil, and changing the dynamics everywhere, either it is environmental, water and soil. So those terminology came, water pollution in pollutant level in soil, then an environment, your different gas composition is coming, there are a lot of toxic gas that is coming out. So those gas composition is not good for human consumption, and so the living organism is succumb to it many kind of problems. So in order to avoid that, or in order to check that, main agenda of those different pollution control board, and those, it has got a kind of a, it is a, nothing but a bible and kind of a guidelines. So how to monitor and how to discharge and how to test, how to control the level, and different industry that has been given those kind of protocol to follow for the industry to run. So, and a kind of a license or certification is given, and time to time there are some monitoring facilities across the globe, either it is Asia, Europe, Africa, many countries. Those pollution, every country they have set up their pollution control board, and there are local official monitoring bodies that is there to take care all those things. Friends, my purpose is not talking about pollution and pollutants and how to control those things are known to everybody. I say this is nothing but a diabetes kind of a patient. Diabetic patient, like diabetic cannot be recovered fully. You have to live with the medicine. That is what doctors suggest. That once you are a diabetic patient and you have to live with that. Only way to live or survive is to make it is a kind of a limit or threshold limit that is again prescribed, and this is what your sugar level should be. Similar way in environment also, this is the level probably you maintain it, do other activities. So it can be compared with a diabetic patient. Okay, this is what I want to convey. My purpose is not again talking about the environment, the monitoring system, and how this is done and how this is operated. Everybody is familiar. Whoever is knowing little bit about the environment and little bit about the role of different pollution control board, those things are known. My purpose is telling you that if you feel because of this industrialization or different pollutants that is coming, various other activities is happening, because of that you have the global warming that is coming, your global temperature, global CO2 level, global ozone level, and because of lot of industrial activities, your chlorofluorocarbon, your ozone depletion is taking place. It is coming to environment and directly exposing with this living organism. Your ozone is very kind of a corrosive and a very destructive thing. It is succumbed with many kind of disease including the cancer, and it reduce affect different kind of disease, reduce the photosynthesis level. Similar way, CO2 also is having you higher level of CO2 is having similar kind of a impact. The point what I want to make over here, in these adverse conditions, plants or living organism are not able to adjust certain kind of things, and they try to adapt with different mechanism. But the important part over here, so we have to decide that what is the level is required, whether we can control those kind of things by treating, before industrial gases are coming out, some kind of treatment, maybe water treatment before discharging to environment. That is what it is important. Finally, your food chain has to be intact. So everything is in a very, because I told many times, nature or food chain, this is purely based on the equilibrium concept. There must not be any kind of extinction of any kind of organism, or extinction of any kind of animals should not happen because of changing the nature of different temperature or different CO2 level. In gradually many species that has been extinct and new species also came, but it is a long process. But final objective is to make this food chain intact. And in order to do that, what climate change scientists or climate change researchers, what they are doing, keeping the prediction in mind, they want to have different varieties of different seedlings and different germplasm to be ready in order to adjust or in order to survive in that particular environmental condition. There are many research that is going on, and I have been doing many such kind of projects in India and also globally. Many projects we have developed. The main agenda of those projects I told about. There are few technologies that is available. That is, I told in my first presentation, that is real time open top chamber for CO2 elevation studies, real time open top chamber for temperature elevation studies, real time open top chamber for ozone analysis. This is for the main three gas studies, and developing new varieties out of it with a simulation chamber. The other technologies I is a free real-time free air CO2 enrichment technology, real-time free air ozone enrichment technology, and real-time free air temperature enrichment technology. This is a objectives are different, and the structural part or simulation model are two different thing. The third is kind of a temperature gradient tunnel. Temperature gradient tunnel, in one tunnel you are trying to create a kind of an atmosphere of different temperature gradient zone, different CO2 gradient zone, with a monitoring facilities, and you are growing kind of a pure selection seedlings which are coming out. You want to see that which temperature zone probably is best for those plants, which CO2 level is best for those plants, and you are developing the germplasm at the end of the day. I talked about temperature gradient tunnel. This is a basically like this, a tunnel with a polycarbonate sheet structure. It may be 30, 40 meter or 60 meter structure. Now, if you blow air from one direction, you take air from another direction, you put some infrared heating system on top. There will be, because of the air velocity, right? If your air is pulling from one direction and taking out, so because of air traveling from one direction to another direction, there will be a temperature gradient that is created inside the tunnel. And because of those variation, whatever crops you are growing inside the tunnel, there will be variation, I'm sorry, variation of the height, variation of, because of the photosynthesis rate will be different because of different temperature, different CO2 level. So that can be done in one go. Probably one can do the screening, and there are various way to monitor it. I am not getting into detail because it's a very kind of a uh, precise system where you have a very stringent monitoring and control mechanism, maintaining temperature, maintaining CO2 level. There are various way to discharge CO2 and maintain that particular zone inside the tunnel. And there are infrared heating system that is mounted with a controller, and finally the monitoring system. 3 4 months crop season that can be done and carried out, and bringing out new varieties. This is called the temperature and CO2 gradient tunnel. So I talked about total seven technology. Eight technologies is talking about a system where you work on, normally your CO2 level is there in 380 ppm to 400 ppm. Now the question is, some places in high altitude, it has been found in different altitude your CO2 oxygen level is varying. Now the question is, if your CO2 oxygen level is varying, how do you do research? It's very difficult. Let's say in environment you have 380 ppm CO2 level. If somebody is telling, now you bring down the CO2 level up 300 ppm or 250 ppm, you see the how the plants are responding, because plants are directly taking this carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Now what is happening in high altitude and different high altitude area, where let's say in Himalayan belt, from the ground to up, whenever you go, different medicinal plants, different plants are growing in different altitude. Now if you want to do research and see the impact studies of different CO2 level, then what you do it, we made several attempts to make a simulation modeling, and we have taken a lot of papers from Elsevier. And imagine a situation, you have a train compartment like this, it has got a compartment like this, you have multiple compartment, it is one is connected to others. Now this is close to 7 or 8 meters, height 3 meters, width 3.5 meters. Like that you have 60 meters, right? Another 10 compartments which interconnected. Now it's again closed system. You are purging air from one direction, that is 380 ppm. You have plants that is growing. The same air is coming from this to another this, like that. The end part is going. Nowadays, if you have a plants is taking this carbon dioxide, now the carbon dioxide level will be reduced. Whatever level you have over here, let's say 380 ppm, the second compartment will have less carbon dioxide because same air is blowing from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. like that end of the tunnel, probably you will be able to reduce the CO2 level by 60, 70, or 80 ppm. Now this 80 ppm CO2 reduction in environment is a very, very tough and critical job, and you have the complete monitoring and controlling facilities what is happening because of the gradual decline of CO2 level till the last compartment. So those kind of, it is basically the work on stress biology. So this is for the common, probably I am not getting into the complexity part. Stress biology is one of the subject, probably there are many things on stress biology research are going on because of these environmental factors, how it is triggering that the biological or their chemical composition or constitution or metabolites, how those are things happening and how those are affecting their productivity. Many things, many research can be done, and we have done such kind of critical job. Another technology we are working on, different kind of reactors, bioreactors, fermenters for algal cell culture. So algae, cyanobacteria interaction studies in nature, what is happening with imposition of CO2, different treatments for rice azolla interaction studies. Those are purely agricultural research in order to aiming, making out to a good azolla species, which is having kind of an economic importance as a biofertilizer. So finally, you want to have a biofertilizer, and which is helping the rice, or finally enrichment of nitrogen that is finally in taking over by the plant's root system. So there are many issues that is involved in different bioreactors we have developed for various application. Beyond that, we make a lot of system for biodiesel plant, aeroponic system, hydroponic system in modern agriculture. So those are the technologies developed by us, and this is need of the hour for probably this in the modern agriculture. I talked about various issues related to the agriculture because population is increasing. You have this fixed amount of land. Now the question is, you cannot have the traditional agricultural practice. Now finally your primary products all are coming from the agricultural field, and if because of urbanization your lands is been occupied, the lands is squeezing. Now in small land you have to have multiple crop facilities, you have to have various technologies that is kind of inbuilt with proper food, proper irrigation system, proper fertilizer, proper pesticides. So vertical agriculture, you have livestock also, you can do a lot of fishing, fisheries, many things in a small land. A sustainable model can be developed so that one family can survive. I talked about many issues that in India probably proper management is done on agricultural field because your economy is 60%, 70% people are dependent on agriculture. If a scientific way of doing agriculture, there are a lot of uncultivated land that is a barren land. Those lands can be used for forestation program. You can do that, and there are many other aspects can be taken into consideration. Even those land reformation acts and other things I talked about in my vision document. Friends, here I'm not going to talk about what are the things required to do that. I'm purely talking about the scientifically how a small land can be utilized for better production of crops or various other things. That is what the whole idea. Our technologies are going to help to create job for millions. That is what I have told. It is going to offer a lot of young agricultural student or biology student for from various fields to create a job opportunity, helping the farmers, giving new technologies, weather forecasting, and soil health, soil pH, soil temperature, kind of weather forecasting. Many things can be incorporated in order to finally have better crops. And finally 60, 70% people, it is the global phenomena that all the countries, not they are based on the industry things. Industry is a kind of a secondary thing. Primary thing is the agriculture. That is the proper usage of technologies and proper usage of agricultural land, or converting non-agricultural land to agricultural land. That is what it is also important part. So there are many deserts nowadays also. People are trying to cultivate plants and selecting of different varieties over there. Those are the things going on. But there must be some more scientific expertise and knowledge and understanding given inputs for helping those farmers. So friends, I was talking about those technologies. Those technologies are very, very important technologies. If the world has to survive in a present global warming, what is happening, there are various research that is going on across the globe that is known. There are many Nobel laureates I told about got the Nobel Prize because from the climate change, their understanding and interpretation. I talked about many things about global warming is one part. There are researchers and there are scientists who got Nobel Prize based on some ideas. They're talking about the GDP, right? They talked about if GDP is not impacting with increasing temperature. So in 2018-19 Nobel Prize winner is talking about if your temperature is increased by 8 degree, your GDP is going to be reduced by 7%. If your temperature is increasing by 3.5%, 3.5 to 4 degree, your GDP is going to be reduced by 4%. Now the question over here, can you imagine a situation temperature increasing by 7 or 8 degree? What is trying to tell, even if your temperature is increasing by 7 to 8 degree, my question is how you are going to survive in this climatic condition. So there is no question, only is talking about industrialization, it doesn't help probably. Is mathematical computation is talking about, since there is not much more reduction in GDP, you keep on doing industrialization, give the carbon tax, so you get away from all those things, you do it. But it is not so simple. I have told you, to understand environment you have to think holistically that what is going to happen. Similar way, if you, we know everybody, if you work more number of works, if you give daily basis, your output will be more. Now the same philosophy, if you cannot say that you work for 24 hours so that you are getting output, so you need to take rest, you need to have your personal life. That's why you can work maximum 8 hours. Those are standardized things. Similar way in nature also, same philosophy applies. So I'm not getting into, not questioning the Nobel laureate, I'm just asking over here that some theoretical thing, it is very easy to draw all kind of theoretical understanding and all, but finally it is very difficult to implement it. So implementation part is very, very important, and think of the realistic way of doing things. Doing computation and other things, that is very easy thing to predict many things. Friends, my model, what I talked about, 7, 8 or 9 technologies I talked about, there are, those technologies are very real, and it's not, it is based on all kind of mathematical inputs, and it was a real simulation model, and it has given various varieties, and across the globe and India, those things are many varieties that has been developed through those technology, and it is going on for us 18-20 years. So those systems are very stable. Friends, I want to conclude by saying that there are many ways to serve science. As an individual, you can contribute the way you want to contribute. If you, somebody doesn't like to contribute, that is their individual choice. But when you feel probably to contribute something to science, the way I felt, probably I've been doing and continuing it, whether it is bad or good, I really do not know. I do not have absolute any idea, but my consciousness says that probably it is good. That's why I am practicing. Otherwise, I could have done something else, right? It's as simple as like that. So friends, I want to conclude by saying that there are many ways to serve the science. serve the humanity. I told about if somebody wants to do the entrepreneurship, they can select their own technologies where they have the expertise. It can be of art, science, philosophy, many other things, spiritual activities, coaching. There are multiple things people are doing it and making their life. So you can use your knowledge and wisdom, many other things what you gain from nature or gain from the universities or gain from the academic institute, same thing you can use in your practical life to make your life, rather than finding and searching job for others. If you have little entrepreneurship skill, one can do it. It is not very tough to do that. One need to practice it. Once it is done, probably your life will be much more regularized, much more better, and you are going to give jobs for many people. That is what it is. Your satisfaction level, it is very important, the kind of work you do in your life. If you are happy with that, is nothing like that. The modern society, what is happening in India, I've been speaking for how many minutes? And let me check it. It's 25 minutes. I can speak maybe another 4 minutes. So, India, what is happening? I'll tell you one thing. There are many intelligent guys, either it is from IITs, various very brilliant students from different fields. Finally, they are getting educated in one subject, doing something else. So, what a IIT engineer or a electronics or a software engineer has to do with the bank is working as a bank manager or in a certain thing they are doing. A person from statistics MSc is doing something else. So only it is not some doctors they are clearing IAS and IPS, that is Indian civil service exams and all those administrative exams. Then why you want to become a doctor? The doctor is graduating, and while giving exam they are taking subject Sanskrit literature and other things to clear it off. So first of all, you are wasting your time. That is what I have been trying to tell you. If you fail that at initial level, you want to become an administrator or something like that, then why you have pursued medicine? So you are wasting there and also here. So, but this entrepreneurship kind of program, I was talking that it is going to help that what you like in your life. If you want to pursue your dream, probably this is the best thing probably one can have, the entrepreneurship. Once you are stabilized, nobody is there to bother you, nobody is there to question you, nobody is going to question you about your timings, your activities. You can take your all activities up to the extreme level or the fullest level, you can do it. No organization can give you such kind of scope that you want to fulfill your dream by working for other company. It's your company, your wish, your desire, what you want to do, how you want to do, that kind of freedom will be getting. But to do that, you have to raise all kind of things what I have told, to know how to do it. That is what the entrepreneurship is coming. For that matter, I talked about the government institute, how they can create an atmosphere. The government should not be in a business of giving job, they should create an opportunity. I have told many times, government cannot create millions of jobs, that is for sure. Those things can be a political voice, they're going to create millions of jobs. It is not. Last 75 years across the globe, nowhere it is seen that government is creating millions of jobs. It is individual. You are qualified one, you need to decide that what you want to do. You decide, then you start. There are many things to do in life, friends. I want to conclude now this topic of entrepreneurship, and what I have to speak, I have spoken. Thank you very much, and I wish the better wisdom and knowledge, the actual wisdom and knowledge people exercise, rather than thinking that others are going to do for you. Nobody is going to do for you. That is for sure. You have to you have to build the cat. Okay, that is the final thing. Probably you need to do it. So it's your life, your wish. You need to see what is best for you. Thank you very much again. Have a nice day.